morning. So I'm at the UE Port Royal Marine Lab. Today we're going to be videoing Dr. Mona Weber as she talks about all of her research, what she's doing, the mangrove, stuff like that.
The Port Royal mangroves, although not a huge area, only about 228 hectares, is very important to the protection of the Palisados Peninsula, to the livelihoods of the fishers and others who live in Port Royal. Persons come from as far as Portland to collect oysters in these mangroves. And so we are quite rightly focusing on several aspects of the mangroves. Unfortunately, because they're right adjacent to the Kingston Harbour, they're affected by the plastics. And the plastics do not remain as large bottles. They weather, they get washed by the wave action and currents, and they break up into microplastics. 5 millimeters or less, but at that size, the filter feeders in the mangroves will take in microplastics. And so we're doing projects to see how much of the plastic material can be found in the oysters that people eat, in the sediments, in the water column. And so the plastic contamination of the whole area needs to be assessed. Because I have a dream that one day we will stop the rain of plastics, and we need a baseline. We are creating a baseline. Hopefully the mangroves are at their worst now in terms of plastic contamination. And when we fix the problem of the disposal of garbage in our capital city, the mangroves will begin to clean and begin to regenerate. And we can monitor quite happily to demonstrate this improvement. We are monitoring and documenting, which is very important. We also have projects related to rehabilitation of the mangroves, because the plastics in their large state damage, they block the breathing roots, the plastic bags wrap around. We saw a very good example of how material can wrap around a mangrove root. And so the trees die off, and the mound of plastics that stop the forest from naturally flushing. Water flows on and off a mangrove forest like this twice a day. Once that stops, the mangroves begin to die. And so we are doing projects to clear the mound of garbage. It'll come back, maybe in 10 years, it'll be right back where it was before, but we're stopping the death of the forest. And hopefully before 10 years, we have fixed the problem that is causing the rain of plastics. So we have projects for regenerating, helping the forest to come back, to not die completely. And of course, we're monitoring the growth of the seedlings as they come back in. Refuge Key is really encouraging. In 2018, Refuge Key was cleaned of garbage, and the garbage is coming back, but the forest is also coming back. And so the middle of Refuge Key is greening up again, and we have to make sure we fix the garbage problem before the cycle repeats itself. What the GraceKennedy Foundation, James S. Solomon Sr., chair, the funds from this facility allows us both to support graduate students. And that's very important to me because we're training the next generation of scientists. So the graduate students, Patrice Francis, Devon Iliao, and others, are learning how to do the work. The funds help to buy equipment, help to get them out into the field. And the funds are also helping us to hire some of the community members. So the community members are getting involved to help us with the cleaning of the forest, with the nursery work to help the seedlings. We are also planting seedlings in the nursery. We use those funds to pay the community members, and that allows us to do a more comprehensive mangrove rehabilitation. Because once you involve the community and they understand what you're doing and why the forest is important, then you have a much more sustainable forest. And so we really couldn't do that without the funds that we get through the GraceKennedy Foundation.